Welcome back to Edge of the Rabbit Hole, the second half of our double feature for tonight. I'm Mike Ricksecker. With me as always, my co-host Vanessa Hogle, and our chat Shananigator, Shana Wankel, is with us as well. So, second half of tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out, sticking with us. I know we had it was a little bit more than 5 minutes in between there, so I had to get some pictures set up and get all the screens set up, and Vanessa had to go pee. So. But thank you guys for hanging out there in the chat room. We're going to keep rolling. We still got Tom and Lynn's down there in Periscope. So, and Andrew Cubbage is back in the house. All right. And I guess, we didn't do it last time because of the way we kind of ended the show there. So what we'll do is we'll do all the shout-outs and everything at the end of this segment. And did we just lose Vanessa? Her thing is spinning. I think we just lost Vanessa. Not good timing. All right, we'll see what happens with her. If we have to call her back, then we will. So, this half of the show is going to be, this second show, really is what it is going to be the Goldenrod Showboat and the tragedy that befell it this past weekend with an arson fire. Very historic location, very haunted location. It was the last showboat of its kind. The biggest and most luxurious one ever built. And you guys know we've talked about this I don't know how many times. Of course, the Volume 2 of Encounters with the Paranormal, part of the proceeds of that, we're going to help the Goldenrod. So you guys know a lot about it. And Shana, of course, she's been a volunteer there for several years now. Has investigated there many, many times. And now it's lost. So... Shana, I'm going to kick it over to you. You didn't have a lot to say about Helltown, so it's kind of like your turn. So, and then hopefully Vanessa will come back here shortly.
Well, I would also like to say that in chat, Mr. Jake Medford probably knows more about the Goldenrod than I do. He's been involved with it a lot longer.
This is true. Let's get Jake on the show. Vanessa's out. Let's get Jake on.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Goldenrod.
It's just this did not have to happen this way.
No.
I mean, without mentioning any names, certain people, just did not want the boat to be there. And they've been very clear about it. And, we all kind of knew that there was a pretty big chance that it was going to happen.
Can I just say it? I mean, can I at least say what I wrote in my article? I can tell you're kind of dancing around it.
Better make sure that it's okay with Jake, because I have to be careful what we say, because some of it come back and bite us in the ass.
I'm not affiliated. So, and then she officially kicked out. Okay. And hopefully we'll get her back. Yeah, so for those of you, I don't know who would be unaware, so Saturday, I guess it was Saturday early morning, the Goldenrod was set on fire, and it was a complete loss. This is something that was in dispute for a while now. We know that there were those who wanted to get rid of it, that no longer wanted to deal with it, and there were threats made here and there over the past couple of years now, I guess, and now it has finally happened. So I mean, on my blog, MikeRicksecker.com, I called it all out. At least as far as I know. I mean, there's you and Jake, you know a lot more than I, but since I know you don't want to get into parts of that, um, what Jake just say? Shana can't say it. Mike is clear.
So I guess that you are free.
I am free and clear to run my mouth. It was the fucking landowners. There we go. They've been wanting to get rid of it for a long time. Yeah, I mean, plain and simple. I mean, we don't know exactly how it went down, how it happened, all of that, because we weren't there. But they picked a very, convenient time, middle of the night. Let's use Roman candles, so it looks like a bunch of kids are out here, being vandals and all that crap. But when it comes down to it, and I talked about this on the Facebook Live feed the other night, and I talk about it in the blog article that I wrote on MikeRicksecker.com. I mean, it was a few weeks ago that they're out there clearing all the land around it. I mean, there's a bunch of other garbage and stuff around too. They're clearing that stuff out, and that's kind of their excuse. Well, we're clearing all this stuff out, fine. But they kind of manicured all the land around there, made sure that, nothing else could be set on fire, because, I mean, they're getting some major, major shit if, they're setting the trees on fire out there, the houses down the road get lit up. Can't be doing that. And punch holes in the side of the boat. That's kind of ventilation for the fire, to get some oxygen up under there. So a lot of garbage like that that went down. The ties were all taken off, so that can't go off somewhere. So basically, it was all cleared up to basically have this contained fire right there, and then all of a sudden, the thing gets lit up. Yeah, just all the dispute back and forth. I mean, we knew they wanted to get rid of it. It was thrown out. I don't know how many times that I've heard, by word of mouth and that through the grapevine and all that stuff about how they want to get rid of it, and it'll be burned, all this other stuff. And they wanted to burn it a year and a half ago when we thought the Goldenrod was lost. That's when I first went out there to the Goldenrod, and I did that original, Goldenrod Ghost Farewell video, because I thought it was gone then. And then, all these different things happened that it was saved here for a little while, and it was going to be moved to St. Louis and all this other stuff. They were going to be able to do something with it again. But back then, they talked about burning it, and the EPA got involved in all this stuff because there was asbestos on there. Couldn't do that, and I still think there was asbestos on there. I think probably one of our last videos, I could probably look in there. We are going to do something with that here now very shortly. And say, hey, there's some right there. Pretty sure. But since you can't speak on all that, Shana, how about you take it from the more personal point of view of, you could talk about how you're feeling about it, and maybe we could talk about, definitely we could talk about the spirits that are on there, Captain Minky, Annie, Charlie, Madge, anybody else that may have been on there, what happens to them? And while you're talking about that, I'm going to try to get Vanessa back.
I mean, as long as they agree to smoke cigars outside, they can come here. I mean, I'm good with that. They want to visit me anytime. I'm sure Jake would love to have some house guests every once in a while. Yeah.
There we go.
So, I don't know where they go. I will say this. I will say that the night that it happened, I didn't realize I had no heads up. I really didn't know until the next morning.
One thing, I don't mean to cut you off, but just to take care of this question real quick. Super Woody Boy, poking holes in a metal boat makes noise, someone must have heard it. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe somebody, the closest house is like a half mile down the road. So, yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, what I put in the chat,
go ahead, Shana.
No fight.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shana. Like I said, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to take care of that one real quick before it went far beyond. So go ahead.
I was going to say, I think subconsciously, I had not been sleeping well. I fell asleep by accident, which I do sometimes, and very restless. But then all of a sudden, at around 1 o'clock in the morning, I am woken up by someone screaming out for help, and I didn't know who it was. But my immediate, instinct was to shoot out of bed and run to check on my kids because, but then one of them was gone for the weekend and the other one was sleeping soundly. And I guess, the report is that it was around midnight-ish whenever it started, when I think the blaze started. Of course, nothing was really done about it or anything until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I don't think there was anything else going on at that time. And mind you, the county is rather small. So, what were they doing for 3 hours? Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't well, we kind of know.
Yeah,
we kind of know why.
Well, okay, let's just say this. Whenever there is a green light, and whenever the truth finally comes out, and everybody is free and clear to say whatever the fuck they want, let's do another show then.
I'm going through the. Sorry, I was going through the chat. I was letting you talk and going back through the chat because there's questions, comments in there. Jake is like, "Why must you do that?" I'm like, what is he talking about? Did I drop the F bomb?
Whenever you spoke freely, and he was, I think he was eating or drinking something.
Oh, okay.
Spit out his popcorn.
Gotcha. I guess I missed that part. There you go. Okay.
The truth will definitely come out. The truth will come out. I think that some people do things because they think they can get away with it, but they underestimate. And I think this is one of those cases.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a big deal. It's you're talking about the size of a fire. You're talking about how the showboat has been there for many, many years. It's not like people didn't know it was there. It's not like your grandfather's old schooner that been washed up and falling apart for the last 30 years. That there's 10,000 more of them out there. This is a one of a kind. It was a National Historic Landmark, and I understand that the designation was taken away from it like a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was. But it was a very, very popular entertainment spot on the Mississippi River, right there in St. Louis, right there by the arch. So this is a very, very well-known vessel. For them to think that nobody's going to bat an eye if it gets burned like that, I would think that they're mistaken.
Oh, they are definitely mistaken.
Well, that's what I was talking about to you guys in the before the show, is that it was given it 3 times, 3 separate designations, and they're separate. One's national, one's St. Louis, or 2 are national and the other one's St. Louis. So losing one of the nationals might negate the St. Louis, but if it lost to St. Louis, would it negate the nationals? So if it didn't, if it still had any type of historic monument attached to it, as far as what it was considered, destroying it by arson or any other way would be a federal offense. So, I mean, that's something that seriously needs to be looked into. And, Shana, I know that you guys are trying to do that, but that's 3 labels it was given, 3 different categories. I can't see all 3 being taken away. And one of the ways for it to become one of those things is for anyone of any notoriety to have ever entertained. And we already know that they did. Is that not correct?
Jake Medford.
Well, Jake's not with us.
He's in chat.
He's in chat.
Yeah, like I said, See, I don't know anything about any of that kind of stuff. That involves the politics.
Right.
And
well, and
that's...
one of the problems is that every state is different too. So, and Vanessa, you're talking about St. Louis, but it's not in St. Louis anymore. It's in Illinois. And so, what's the Illinois law? I remember.
National covers all.
Well, yeah, but it's no longer a National Historic Landmark. They removed that designation. Like I said, I think it was like 2 years ago, so that they could scrap it a year and a half ago. Because they couldn't with that designation on there. And Jake can correct me if I'm wrong about any of that stuff. Yes, Jake says only one was taken away at the national level when they did the ceremony.
Okay, so then there was another national one that it still held, plus the St. Louis one, neither one of which were removed.
Right.
So that's a federal offense.
Okay. So, well, hopefully, Jake. I know Jake's really working it. And I don't know if there's ever, like stuff that automatically kicks in. Like, I remember it was about 5 years ago when Fenway Park in Boston, again, a different state, different city, all that stuff, I understand that. But it became 100 years old. And like at 100 years old, all of a sudden a bunch of historic stuff kicked in for it. So I don't know if Illinois has something like that too, where at the century mark, stuff automatically kicks in. I don't know. That's something that would be at the state level.
Okay. Jake says correct, but they don't hold the same protections as the landmark. And I still,
Okay.
I think that it's still worth investigating, because they might think that they got away with it just for that, but there's a way to look into it. There's a way to look into it. For it to be given 3 separate designations and only have one removed, there has to be recourse.
Yeah, this was a significant piece of history.
Exactly.
And they treated it like it was your grandpappy's old schooner that had no significance. This was a significant piece of history. They treated it like nothing. The only people that were treating it like it should be were Jake, the Riverboat Association, Shana, who's a volunteer for all of that. They were treating it properly and trying to do something with it. It's just a shame that the people that own the land would do something like this and took that attitude. They had the attitude all along, from my understanding.
I have a question for Shana, and I need to know whether or not I'm accurate on this, because I'm trying to remember back to when we discussed the Goldenrod before. But didn't you say that there had been, back in its glory days before, with the captain, didn't you say that there had been some instance with fire?
Yeah, the boat was, and I can't remember the year of the fire. I know Captain Mankey was around 80.
Yeah, it was the early 60s.
Early 60s.
Jake. What year?
Everybody's going to see like my hand up close and personal. I got to plug my phone in.
Okay.
And the reason I was asking that was the first thing that I thought of when you guys posted what had happened, and when Mike messaged me and let me know what happened, was that out of all the ways to perpetrate something so negative, to do it that way.
Well, yeah, it's a complete slap in the face, because after that fire in the early 60s, I don't know if it was a 62, 63, something like that, Jake, Captain Mickey, he's like 80 years old, and he didn't have any insurance on it, so he was relegated to whatever money he had left to buy materials, get in there himself with hammer and nail, and start piecing the thing back together. So, literally, his blood, sweat, and tears, were put into this boat. And I believe that's actually the reason why he ended up losing ownership of it, was because of that fire. But they let him live there. And he actually died on the boat. So, Fran is even chiming in. He was 80 when he restored the boat. So, Fran knows some things. All right. You go, Fran.
Fran.
Yeah.
But that was what struck me and what broke my heart so much was I remembered us talking about that particular situation. And like you said,
Jake says June 1962. Yeah. So June 1962.
Literally how he built it back after such a tragedy than to have them destroy it in the same fashion. You know, it just seems, I mean, there's many heartless acts going on here, but to me that's just unforgivable. That's a slap in the face.
Hey, Shana, you can say that in the chat or on the show.
Well, I know them use profanity.
It's the internet. You can say fuck.
Would you like me to repeat that? The local fire department can kiss my motherfucking ass.
So this is the Goldenrod. Actually, this photo was taken in February of 2016. You can see I've modified it a little bit. I have Captain Minky sitting on the deck, and I've added a ferry onto there because it was like around Thanksgiving that we thought we may have experienced some ferry activity on there as well. So that's it, 2016. You know, I should have gotten some photos from some historic photos as well. This is, let me get, oh, that's the wrong one. Wrong button. Damn it. Okay, this is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the interior, 2014. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Now look at that stained glass, chandelier, all of that. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this is it on Saturday morning.
And see, this is what we were talking about in the chat. You can see the lines from where they specifically cleared around.
They cleared all that. I've got, I don't know how many photos that I have, Shana has, that are posted on the Goldenrod Facebook page of all that, you know, debris and foliage and all that stuff. It does not take any amount of time for that stuff to grow up down there. You know,
yeah.
I remember, you know, when it sat dormant there for a little bit last year, and just those couple months, there was so much crap that grew up down there. It was insane. So, yeah, they had to clear all that out, otherwise it would have caught fire. And I did see Jake say something in there that that one of the trees, like 30 feet away, did catch fire. So it was a pretty big blaze that blew up.
Jeez.
And then Zippy Davis saying, as an ex-firefighter, I can see a fire break around it. Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely.
See? I mean, that's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, my God. I just don't understand it. And no one's talking.
No, small town politics. It's ridiculous.
Now, unfortunately, they're all the same type of people, the same group of people, and they're all going to band together, and they're all going to assume that, you know, the responsible parties and those who are loyal to them are going to assume that they can just bully their way out of this like they have every other time, and they are fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And that is the truth.
Yeah, they're all going to try to cover each other's asses because that's the way it's always worked. You cover my ass, I'll cover your ass, and, you know, yeah.
At some point, nobody's going to be able to cover anybody's ass.
Yeah.
No, something's going to have to come out. They're going to get enough pressure. They're going to have to say or do something. And honestly, I told Mike this when he told me. And I think I actually put it on one of the feeds that we had. Someone's going to get cocky. Someone's going to slip. You know, when they think that they can't get busted or caught for it. I will guarantee it. I will guarantee you that. Someone's going to get too fucking cocky, and they're going to say something in front of the wrong person, and it's going to get out what they did. They're going to end up hanging themselves. I truly believe that.
Well, I hope that's the way it goes down. Right. You guys keep telling me about, well, I believe in karma, but you guys keep saying karma's going to get them. I just wish I could have saved the boat.
Yeah.
So
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I truly do feel it. I really do.
yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the wrong people have been delegated to handle it. You know, locals, they don't need to be handling this because they,
in pockets.
they're too biased.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was
they're
wondering
too
if there's a
biased.
way to just escalate it to the state.
I hope so. All I know is I do not think, you know, I don't think somebody that doesn't even know how to spell without using crayons should be in charge of
You
this
told
shit.
me about that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
am so sorry. But, and maybe he'll watch this video. I don't know. But hey, you know, if you have to ask somebody how to spell the word stealth because you don't know what stealth cam is, I'm sorry. But
Seriously?
Seriously. She's not joking.
I am not joking.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, I am not joking. You know, it makes me wonder how they got a badge. Not even graduating high school, if that even happened. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who blew who or who paid who, but somebody gave that man a badge. And at this point, I don't really give a flying fuck if he watches this or whoever watches this.
Now there's the Shana I know and love.
I did not say his name. I did not say his name.
So you shot. Behold, the field in which I grow my fucks. Lay thine eyes upon it, and it is barren. True story. True story. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I have a lot of fucks. My field is full. Unfortunately, I have zero for the other party. So
no, my fuck field is barren. But on this, it isn't. And that's the thing is, and that's why I think Mike is onto something when you say go to the state level, is because if you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that only one of those dedications was taken away, so the other two still applied, and that they have done everything that they can in order to inhibit anybody else from being able to keep this boat in its quality to where they can get it moved so they can get it off their land, then you might have a case. You might have something to sink your teeth into. Because that shows that it's ongoing.
Yeah, I would just think that, you know, something with its sort of historic significance, and I understand that the national marker was taken off.
What?
One was taken off, but another still exists. Apparently, it doesn't have the same protections, but still, it should get that type of attention, being what it is. You know, it's still a you know, historic location, a national piece. You know, I get that. You know, most of its history happened in St. Louis. It was in St. Charles for a while, so it's all, you know, a lot of it's Missouri, but it worked up and down that river, so it does have Illinois history as well, and not just sitting there in Campsville for the last, you know, 10, 15 years or however long it's been. You know, so it should get some significant attention from somewhere.
That's why we were really, when you were having your rant the other night, fully supported your rant. And that's one of the things that we kept saying, and I know that you say it can't bring the Goldenrod back, but it can expose it in a spot way, and that is a fucking documentary. You've got enough footage. You and Shana have the history. You've got all that.
We're going there. We're, you know, and it's timing of all of this is really, really kind of strange. Shana's saying that she got stream in the middle of the night. I know Bonnie and Donna were saying that they were just talking about the Goldenrod like the day before, 2 days before, whatever. There was just, within a day or two before that happened, Shana and I were talking about a project involving the Goldenrod and other stuff too. So, we're going there. We're going there.
Okay.
There are some people in the chat, Vanessa, I saw at least two that are wondering if you're picking up on anything enough to be able to draw the culprits.
odds are the ones that would come the dead people. But I can try.
Okay.
You want me to get some paper?
Worth a
Give me a
shot.
second.
Worth a shot.
Because I don't have any idea what anybody looks like that has anything to do with it.
Okay.
So give me just a second. Let me get some paper.
So, Shana, in the meantime, while she's doing that, and I know people have asked about it, what about the spirits that were on there? Where do they go?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and we've
I
talked
don't know
about
where
that.
they go.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Like, if the goldenrod was to go, now it has. Do they stay in the ground? Do they find another loved one to go with? Do they find whatever remnants are left that the Riverboat Association still has? Do they go off somewhere else? Yeah, we don't know. It's been one of the big mysteries.
Give me just a minute, okay? Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, it's just all, you know, okay. So, I mean, it's hard to not say names
I know.
and not out. But, okay, let's say I own a boat. And let's say it randomly caught on fire, which is what this is being spun as, even though everybody knows better.
Right.
You know, but I would at least, you know, if I was going to do something like that and try to cover it up, I mean, I wouldn't put 3 hours in between the time that the blaze got called in to when the fire marshal showed up. You know, if I'm going to try to get away with something like that, I would at least go through the motions in a timely fashion, even if I lied about how the evidence turned out. You know, they haven't even, nobody's even done that. I mean, 2 days.
Yeah.
They waited 2 days. You know, and from what I understand, I guess they preferred to do it at night after it rained.
Because that makes sense. Sorry.
You know, so basically, it just casts a bunch of shade all over the entire county at that point. You know, the police department, I mean, the fire department, I mean, everybody.
Right.
You know? I mean, if I wanted to try to get away with something like this, I would not be wanting to put myself in the spotlight. You know? I mean, so obviously we're dealing with fucking idiots who think that, hey, because I have money and I have, you know, I'm in charge of shit, then that means I'm the smartest person on the fucking planet. But obviously we're obviously dealing with idiots.
Yeah. Question
You
from
know,
the chat
I mean,
for you, from Fran Molino. Shana, have you tried talking to the captain?
Are you talking to me?
No, it was a question for Shana from Fran.
Hi.
Yeah, after I got home, because I went with Jake and our friend Rita to go see the boat. Looking at it was surprisingly not as hard as I thought, but I think that it was because I was more angry than anything else.
Sure.
You know, and with absolutely nothing but karma on my mind. I mean, you know, do I wish ill will on the people who actually started the blaze? That would be a terrible thing for me to say.
Fine, you don't have to say it. I'll say it. Fuck you fucking fuckers. There we go.
There you go.
What I do wish
I won't hold back.
is for a lesson to be learned. And in order for a lesson to be learned, they have to experience the same sense of loss plus a little more. You know, now do I think that people like that will be capable of experiencing that type of loss. Emotionally, no. So I think the lesson needs to be a little harsh when it's given out. So what do I hope happens? Anybody that can read minds, go for it.
Law-abiding citizen.
Works for me. Law-abiding citizen.
So, all right, let me go to the Skype only tab. Well, that's if you get caught. So I'm trying to go to the Skype only button so that you can see it a little bit bigger. For you guys down in Periscope, I'll move it over. So, here we go.
Who is that?
Do you have, Vanessa, do you know what type of connection he has, or just a connection in general?
I would see it better. I'm going to try to make the lines a little bit darker.
Too bright. Oh, sorry guys, I tried. No, I was talking to Periscope. I held it up to the screen. Apparently it was a little dark for them, or a little bright for them. So, alright, Vanessa's going to try again. Alright, here we go. I won't hold it as close there, guys. Oops, and it went back to there. Hang on, Vanessa, hold it up a little bit longer. It clicked off the Skype only button. And now it's just me. Hi. Okay, there we go. You guys are back. Alright. So, look familiar at all, Shana? Jake, anybody else from that area?
I keep getting the name Scotty.
I mean, I will say this. The people that I assume are involved, since in no way do I think that this is random, I don't feel that I feel like maybe someone else set.
Yeah, they didn't light it.
Well, yeah, I don't think they ran their old asses down there to shoot off Roman candles at it. Of course, they slipped somebody a few bucks to have them go do it.
Jake, are you saying that you've seen someone familiar? That looks familiar to you?
That's what he said. I've seen someone familiar.
I'll screenshot that and send it to y'all.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely take a pic of that and stick it up there.
Yeah. He says, ha ha ha, I've seen someone familiar.
Yep. All right. On to you fuckers.
That's interesting. And like I said, I don't know if his name is Scotty or what, but I heard that name when I was drawing it.
Okay. All right.
So
Jake is going through his photos now. All right. Well.
Super Woody Boy says, may their dicks fall off. Actually, why don't we just shove Roman candles in them?
There you go, Roman candle up the ass.
Why don't we just glue them to their foreheads? Sprinkle some glitter on them. I've always wanted a pet unicorn.
Donna has to go charge her phone. Donna Gordon, one of our Cheshire cats. Take care, have a good night.
Not Donna. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Tammy thought we were funny with that.
Candy Orton says they brought that guy a case of PBR to light it up by the look of him. Yeah, he looks like a PBR drinker.
Oh my gosh. They're calling us the HRM Detective Agency. Yeah.
Shana and I were actually at a cemetery a couple weeks ago that had a bunch of Pinkertons in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been interesting. I would have loved to talk to them.
Yeah, you would.
I would. Also, this guy is of shorter stature and a little bit stockier. He had a taller guy with him that was a little bit younger. Let me draw him real quick.
All right.
See if
Vanessa
Jay
is
recognizes
on
this one. Give me just 60
Not a
seconds,
problem.
okay?
Not a problem. While you're doing that, just real quick, for anybody that knew that we have tonight, of course, please go ahead and subscribe if you already are not, and go ahead and hit that little bell notification button next to that. But also, if you do not know, okay, so this book here, this is Encounters with the Paranormal Volume 2. This came out last year. Number 3 just came out a couple weeks ago. We'll get into that later, but this book here, part of the proceeds we had been giving to the Goldenrod Showboat to help, preserve it and restore it and all that, because they're going to take it back to the St. Louis area and try to restore it and do some more stuff with it and run shows off it again, all that stuff. So what's going on now, since of course the boat is tragically gone, is they still have some of the artifacts from off the boat, because when they thought they were going to lose it a year and a half ago, they took a lot of things off there. So if they open up a museum, whatever they end up doing with it, okay, proceeds from this book, part of the proceeds from this book will still go to help with all that. So whatever they end up doing, I know right now a lot of that's in storage somewhere, and then whenever they do a museum, what have you, put on display, part of the proceeds from this will go to help towards that. So Goldenrod will still be helped through this book, just unfortunately in a different way now. So.
Okay, give me just a second.
You got it? So
Almost.
Vanessa right now is drawing this guy's partner. What are you guys doing down there in the chat? Our Mad Hatters. So, and yeah, Greg, that's exactly what I said. All right. Ether Shadow used to be a Pinkerton at the Saratoga racetrack many moons ago. Very cool. Very cool. So, and yeah, thank you, Shana. hauntedroadmedia.com is where you can find that. That'll basically link you to Amazon. But if you go to hauntedroadmedia.com, you can click into it and it'll take you right to where you can buy that. MikeRicksecker.com as well. But yep, Haunted Road Media is the name of our channel. It's also the name of our publishing company that we do all the books through. So these books, Vanessa's books, we have a lot of other great authors that have written books through us as well. So, and HRM Detective Agency at your service. I like it. Yeah, Shana, what year was Paul there? Paul who? Paul, John, Ringo, George. All right, let's see what Vanessa has for us here.
Let me figure out how to put it.
Let me pop you onto the Skype only, so that's a little bigger for everybody. And let me show you guys down there in Periscope. So this is the guy that was with Scotty.
He looked at it narrows down to a much smaller chin. He's considerably taller. I would say maybe 3 to 5 inches taller than the first guy. And he's got that little, what do they call that little?
I don't know. You're talking a little fuzz under the lip there.
Yeah, under the lip. He looks not
look familiar
right.
at all, Shana?
No.
No. Okay.
He looks not right in the head. I don't know how to put it. Little bitty eyes.
Diane, he looks
So it's inbred, yeah.
Well,
Soul patch, Super Woody Boy. The fuzz under the chin is a soul patch, yeah.
There you go.
Well, if he is from my hometown, from my county,
There's a good chance of that?
there's a very good chance that his family tree doesn't fork.
Jake Medford said pointer. I don't know what that means.
I
So,
don't know what that, I think that's the last name.
Shauna, those are your people, you know.
Oh, I know. I know. According to my grandmother, I'm related to everybody.
Oh boy.
Somehow.
Oh, wow.
Zippy Davis, he looks like a bitch to me.
Well, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, if you had, everyone's thinking of Mice and Men, right?
Yeah.
He's the Lenny.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's the best way I can put it. You know, I will hug him and kiss him and call him my friend. Yeah, he's the Lenny. You know?
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, those are two that I see associated with it. So the
Who's
person,
Ali Godar 95? Just because we're from the kind doesn't mean we claim them. So what are your...
Now, the person who I see who wanted this done, I would put him at about maybe 6 foot going. Okay, shit.
You said 6 foot. I heard that.
The person that about between 5'11" and 6 foot. So like right at more at the 5'11" mark. At least is what he appears like to me, but I'm pretty short. Looks like he's going bald. He's clean shaven. He's got a paunch. He's not like what you would call a super big guy. He's not that. It's weird because his hands to me are effeminate.
Okay.
Like they've never seen a day's hard labor. Which I mean, I don't know many men who haven't seen a day's hard labor, but I don't feel like this guy has at all. And it's weird because there's something about him that, even though he hasn't seen hard labor, there's something about him, I keep seeing him with bricks.
Interesting.
Which I can't figure out, but it's like red brick dust and bricks. And he talks with a very, very, very odd way of speech. I almost want to call it nasally, but it's more, I think it's more disdain. Which is it's a weird way of speech. He doesn't sound like your average Joe to me.
Is that inbred in him?
I'm not saying he ain't never kissed his cousins, but, you know, but I can't get a look on his face. I can't get a look on his face. The only thing that I can see is power. Not power, like pasty.
Okay.
So, whether that means anything to y'all or not, I have no idea. So.
I'm not from there, so I don't know. That'd be Shana and apparently a couple people in the chat.
Shauna's got a really weird look on her face right now. Shauna knows
I'm trying to now go through all of the faces that I have seen during the many tours and the birthdays and all the people that have come on board. Anybody that I might have deemed shady at some point, and I know there's a few people that had been on the boat that was not aware that I was listening in on conversations, and then discovered that I had no problem giving them gills and tossing them overboard to at least give them a fighting chance at survival.
Hey, do you have pictures from old investigations?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be going through those. Do you have pictures from the property? Go through pictures from the property that you've had, pictures from investigations, tours that you've taken out there. Shauna, anyone that you've taken out there, go through them, see if any of them are these people or resemble these people.
Oh, okay.
You might get a thread to follow by doing that. It's no different than if somebody is a killer.
Yeah, Jake says that's what he's doing right now. Yeah, Jake says that's what he's doing right now. Yep.
Good, because it's the same thing that cops do when they've got a killer that has a particular type of victim. A lot of times, killers will show up at victims' funerals, so they will actually have people, positioned near the funerals taking pictures so that they can go through and see who shouldn't be there. So,
well, and that would have been probably a good thing to do, Saturday morning, as it's smoldering. Was there anybody showing up? There's going to be a lot of people coming by, like, hey, heard heard something happen, saw something happen, saw the flames or saw the smoke or whatever. Who stopped by to take a gander?
Well, and that's the thing, and this is what a lot of people need to realize. It's one thing to set off Roman candles. It's another thing to aerate a boat so that it has more air going through it to fuel the flames, and to set it on fire with Roman candles. If it's a true arsonist, this isn't their only time, nor is it their first for them to know how to do it. And arsonists are notorious for two main things. One, they can't quit, and two, they love to see their work. That is before, during, and after. And if it's a true arsonist, if it wasn't done just to get rid of the damn boat, if it's a true arsonist, they would go back repeatedly.
Actually,
Well, I think they're, trying to get rid of the boat.
Actually,
Excuse me.
when we were there, me and Jake and Rita, there was this Jeep that drove by.
Okay.
And there was a couple of guys. One of them was taking a picture and laughing.
Yep.
And
Oh, wow.
so, had they came
Seriously?
back or slowed down, would I have drug him out of his door and beat the shit out of him? Probably. At least I would have asked him what the fuck he thought he was laughing at. And then we started talking about giving people other orifices and stuff like that, so we kind of blew it off. But
did you get at him?
he looked young. I couldn't really see the driver, but yeah, he didn't look that old. He looked younger than me for sure. Jake signed too. I mean,
Jake found a photo that he wants me to look at, or wants y'all to look at. I don't know which one.
All right. Well, shoot it
I
our
mean,
way.
really, if they're not going to investigate it, we will. It's that simple. If they're not going to investigate it, we will. My ex-husband's in law enforcement. I'm fairly well versed on criminal.
but the thing is how do you get, if the locals have basically just written it off saying, well, there was a fire, there were some Roman candles at the scene, blah, 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 that's it.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if there's a way to escalate it, because, this isn't the first small town that is, trying to, shove something under the rug or brush something under the rug. Stuff like that happens in small towns all across the country. Then people know this happens in local, political circles, in small town, politics. So that's why there's usually some things, established at the state level that you can escalate to. I just don't know how something like that might happen in Illinois related to a fire.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, I mean, this is the way that I roll. When in doubt, go higher. Go above. The big fish in little ponds are little fish in big ponds.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're not getting what you want at the level that you're at, go higher. If you don't get it there, go higher. There's always another person to consult. There's always another person to bring into it. A historical monument or piece of property or showboat or whatever, there are people who do care about that. There are people who do care about that. And even if they can't bring it back, they can dig deeper and maybe crack some skulls and see what the fuck actually happened.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
I'll sign up for that.
Shana's on board.
That's, even at my own job, that's what we do. If we don't get the response that we want for something, we go higher.
Anything I can do to be a pain in somebody's ass in this situation, I am all for that.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got it down to an art form. So I love being a pain in people's ass. I love it. It's like it's that and going to stores, picking out clothing I'm never going to buy and putting it in wrong spots. Those are my hobbies.
Thanks, Jake.
You know? So, I mean, that's definitely something that needs to be looked into. If you can't get where you need to go at the local level, then you go above them. Someone will care. Someone will have a relative who was on that boat at one point in time. Someone who is older than them might have seen a show that was on that boat at one time.
You know, Jake, I've seen these pics before. Interesting. Okay. Did you send them to Shana too?
Well, I mean, there's people coming forward, Vanessa, that post on the Goldenrod page, you know, like family of people who built the boat, family of people who performed on, you know, the boat.
What was it, Pope Industries, I think, that built it? Is that right?
I think it was Pope.
Pope, yes, Pope.
Yeah.
Pope Manufacturing, something like that. So, I mean, there are people who care. You're going to have families, like you said, who have pictures of their relatives, their loved ones, who went to shows on this boat. There are memories attached to it. There are people that are going to care.
When I was on Coast to Coast a little bit over a year ago, I was talking with George Norrie about the Goldenrod, because he's in St. Louis. And he was like, oh yeah, I've been to the Goldenrod, great place. I have a lot of great memories. You know, he was talking about going on there to see shows and everything. So, you know, it was a big to-do in the St. Louis area for a long, long time. A lot of people have fantastic memories of taking in shows on the Goldenrod. You know, Shana, you were when you guys had that thing last year, you met some of the people that performed on the Goldenrod, and they had great memories of it. So yeah, everybody seems to have loved the Goldenrod.
Have you considered contacting anybody in St. Louis to see if they're willing to investigate it? If the what did he say? It's the Hope Dock Company in Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Yeah,
if they're still in business, contacting them.
Yeah, some of that gets a little dicey, because then you're talking about different states.
But they might be the grease you need to get the wheels turning.
Well, yeah, if they could take it, because for a state to have a grievance against another state, then you actually have to bump it up to the federal level. So, but if they could initiate that, then maybe something could work there.
Exactly. You know, I mean, it would be interesting to see if there are any higher officials who ever spent time on the boat. Write them. Did a congressman ever go see a show there? Write him. Did a senator ever do it? Write them.
Joanne Rubin was saying good night. Take care, Joanne.
So, I mean, it's just all these different, these little avenues that when we get angry, we don't think of. You got to take away that anger for a minute and start to think about it as a detective. What would you do? What is your next step? You already know that this happened. What we got to do is figure out which step to take to get somebody else involved to figure out how it happened, because we already know why. And then we can figure out what can be done about it. If you bring people into it that have the capability of investigating it that we don't have and that they won't do at the local level, that's going to scare some people.
Robert White, did a senator ever do a Clinton on the boat? Is this a cigar joke? Nice.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But you see what I'm saying, though. There are ways. It was a showboat. Important.
Yeah, I mean,
people were on it. You know, this wasn't something that you know, that Ma Kettle and Pa Kettle, you know, took their chitlins on to. You know, this was something that people spent time on and cared about greatly. So there is going to be someone who's interested in finding out what really happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was
to think about.
Yeah, it was big time there. I mean, I don't know how many photos I've seen of it sitting in front of the arch. I mean, it was right there on the waterfront forever.
Greg Rinkin, I hope, Greg, I said that correct. He says, I don't doubt that there are private detectives in St. Louis who were thinking of investigating.
Well, that would be great. That would be great.
Uh-huh.
So, well, we are about at the hour mark for this second half of our double feature. It went by pretty quick.
Yes. Yes, I actually, if y'all don't mind, I had kind of an emergency happen during the show, and I need to take care of that. It was with a friend, not my son. My son is fine. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and back out so I can take care of this. Is that okay?
We're just going to wrap it up.
Okay. Mwah.
So,
I love you guys.
Take care,
Bye,
Vanessa.
Bye, Vanessa.
All right.
Bye-bye, honey.
I love you.
All right. So let me adjust this real quick because now it looks, well, that's going to have to clear up. Okay. So are we doing a documentary? You know, there's some stuff we're going to do. There was some final footage. I was waiting for a chance to possibly get back on there and do something. There's some final footage that we did early spring that we'll do something here with. As far as additional things after that, yes. I'm not going to say specifically what right now, because we were already talking about something possibly just before this happened, like literally like the day before. So, and Shana knows what I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna reveal that at this moment. So, and Dawn is telling you have a nice smile, Shana.
Thank you, Dawn.
You have a beautiful smile. Okay, so I don't know. After that sneeze, I just So let's go ahead and do the shout-outs. You guys have stuck with us here for 2 hours, and more than that because we had a big break in between. So I really appreciate you guys doing this for a double feature, Helltown and Goldenrod Showboat. So let's see. We have Andrew Cubbage, Zippy Davis, Dawn, Bradley Francisco, Candy Orton, Tammy Heitzman. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. Charmy Charms, thank you. I'm going to have to drink some more water. Doreen Kisnorbo, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate that. Bridget Willis, you too. Thank you for joining us. Greg Rinkin, thank you for all your comments tonight. Really appreciate that. Tom McNicholas, thanks for hanging out both YouTube and Periscope. We still got a few sitting there in Periscope. Thanks for all the hearts down there, by the way. Really appreciate that. Lynn's White, you were also back and forth between the two. Appreciate that. Robert White, our friend from Australia, thank you. Alan Wurtzbaugh, thanks for joining us again. Bonnie Halperin, one of our Cheshire Cats. Donna Gorton had to skip out a little early. She's on the charge on her phone, apparently. Ether Shadow, thanks again for joining us. Andrew Cox, of course, you're always here with us every night. Carrie Parrish was in here as well. Thank you, Carrie. I think I already said Zippy. And who else did we have? Of course, Jake Medford was in the house. Jake of the Riverboat Association that has been operating the Goldenrod for many years now. He's the vice president of that. Super Woody Boy, thanks of course for joining us again. Jody Brewer, thanks for joining us. Andrew Cubbage was in the house as well. Thank you from Oklahoma. And who else? You know, I didn't even put it on the chat to show you guys. Show you guys yourselves. Here you go. Sean's over there typing. Who else do we have there? You guys are. I'm pretty sure I already said Fran. Right, Fran? I already said you. Oh yeah, there's this, Ali Godar 95. Midnight Mortra. I had no idea if I said that correctly. Diane Hilbert. I have a tendency to miss Diane for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why that is. I think that... Oh, Luli Tubi's in the house. Sorry. I'm so late. Sorry, guys. Right at the end of a 2-hour show. Wow. But you made it. Darla Waltz. Ectogasm fans, yes. Yeah, we are definitely Ectogasm fans. And I think Everybody else I have gotten. And I know there are people in here earlier. Oh, Bethany Warner. Yep. And there's another. See, I just need to scroll all the way down. Start scrolling back up. Shannon Maitland.
Diane Cooper.
I did say Diane because I was talking.
That?
I was talking about always missing her for some reason, but I got her this time.
Bridget
I got Bridget.
Got her.
Yep. I'm thinking I got everybody.
Maitland.
Yep, I just said her a moment ago.
And there was a midnight somebody.
Yeah, I know more. Yeah, I screwed that one up, but I did get her in there. So, and then Dawn is saying Halloween show is gonna kick ass, woohoo! So yes, next week. Is this gonna just die there or what? So next week is our Halloween show. Edge of the Rabbit Hole is actually appearing on Halloween, or we're broadcasting on Halloween. So we have a special, The Truth Behind Halloween episode coming up, and Shana, you had already promised a 2-hour episode for that. So you up for doing 2 hours again?
Sure.
Sure, there she goes. Okay. Allie Godar95 says, FYI, Mike, I work for Riverbender with Corey that interviewed you for the Paranormal Story. Yeah, Riverbender.com. Corey Davenport had contacted us like a couple weeks ago for a ghost story. Donna and Dave from, I guess maybe it was probably Dave, from, here we go, from Mineral Springs Hotel. They know Corey. Corey's stories fell through for other stuff that he was covering, so Dave suggested that Corey contact us about the Goldenrod. So he was sent us emails, called us up, all that stuff to get information about Ghost of the Goldenrod, all that stuff. And then this happened, and so his story on Riverbender.com covers both the fire and it covers the ghost stuff. So it's kind of a 2-part thing. But yeah, so that go check that out. I did post that on my Facebook, so you can find that there too. So go check it out. There you go.
Happy birthday, Bridget. Bridget's birthday will be Thursday the 26th.
Oh, very cool. Happy birthday, Bridget.
Yeah. Happy
Very
birthday from Haunted Road Media.
Yes, absolutely. Happy birthday, Bridget Wells. Okay, I think that about wraps it up, right? Anything else? So, see, Shana, you can obtain through public records, property owners' names, etc. Yeah. Yeah, any type of information like that is always public record. So you can always get that information. Anything else, Shana? We done? We got it?
I think so.
All right. And then Super Woody Boy, happy birthday to Mike's dad on Halloween. Yes. On the Halloween show, we will be saying happy birthday to my dad. So, I just took my parents out for a birthday dinner last night because both their birthdays are in October. And so, I just picked a day in between and took them out for dinner. So, there you go. Thought you'd appreciate that, Woody, since Woody just is really into the fact that my dad's birthday is on Halloween. He was born at night, too, so there you go. And he doesn't believe in ghosts at all. So. Alright. So, is that you or a pack of lifesavers in your pocket?
Who are you talking to, Darla?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, because I have, like, no pockets on the shirt.
I can vouch for it not being a tube of lifesavers. I mean, I don't know who you're talking about.
Wow.
But, I mean, I don't know.
I know, I could take that places that I probably shouldn't, and I'm not going to. It'd be inappropriate. So Andrew says his uncle's birthday is Halloween too.
Oh, Robert.
Robert. Okay. Jesus.
Hey, I was just defending.
I appreciate that. It's like I didn't stand up or anything, so I didn't get it.
Well, that would have shot it to hell for sure.
Well, yeah.
So anyway.
Anyway. On that note, that wasn't even. It was close to ectogasm, but not quite there. On that note, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week for the Halloween episode. And we're also, Sean, I really want to get that out for Monday. What we're going to do this weekend, I really want to get that out for Monday. You think we can do it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
We have something special for you. Special Halloween investigation for you. We're going to put that video out Monday night. I better be able to get it done. Because I'm now making promises. So be on the lookout for that too. Alright. Now that we've said that we're going about 20 different times, if you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click the little notification so you know when all of our new videos are coming out. Of course, this is the second one. This is the one that came out last year. We'll go to Goldenrod Showboat. The remnants of it, the artifacts that are left. And of course, we just came out with, if I could line up right, just came out with the third one too, so that's available as well, hogleroadmedia.com, or you can look it up at Amazon. You know what, I've been so dang busy, I don't actually have this on the website yet. But you can find it anywhere on my social media, because I have been posting about the new book on the social media, and of course, the second one's out there all over the place already, so. Alright, that'll do it.
Don't forget
Shauna's
your
in both.
selfie with Ghosty Bridget.
Yeah. Shauna's in both of these as well. She's written stories for both. Yes. Your selfie with Ghosty. There's
Bridget
Ghosty.
says she's off to get herself a Ghosty, so
Awesome.
don't forget to take a selfie and send it so that we can post it on Ghosty's page.
Yep. Ghosty's been getting a lot of pics lately that we have to upload to his page because, like, Lorna Crum has been taking them all over the northwestern United States. So she's been posting a lot of pics out there lately. Tom McNicholas has been posting some ghosty pics lately, so a lot of people have. And we do. Katie Hopkins, who has one of the stories in here, just got a ghosty and posted some pics. So yeah, get your ghosty, and we'll get him on the Ghosty's Facebook page, which is Ghosty HRM.
And if everybody that can get to Alton this weekend can do it,
yes,
then join us at Mineral Springs. Ghosty will be there also,
that's
well
the
his
book
relatives.
release. That's the book release event for Encounters with the Paranormal, Volume 3. So that is 11 until I think it's 6. It's like 5 or 6, but I'm pretty sure it's 6. So I know Andrew Cox is talking about showing up, so that'll be cool.
There's going to be a lot of very interesting people and energy there that day.
Yep.
So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a great event. They have a whole psychic fair along with that, so it's not just the book release. So you can come in, get your book, and then go visit the psychic fair. So it'll be awesome. Okay, that'll do it. Now we've tried to sign off here like 20 times and gave like 10 different calls to action. You got a lot of stuff to do once you're off the show, right? So, all right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Hope some of you this coming weekend. And have a great night. Until next time.
Night.
Yeah.